Courage, be blessed, be united, pray in your tribulations. All the saints are with you. Christ's message for today. I opened up the Holy Bible at random and it fell onto the subject of food and fasting. As we know, we're in the days before Christmas, and there are those that fast for 40 days before Christmas, as we do in the Christian Orthodox faith. It opened to wisdom of Sirach, chapter 37. Gluttony, my son, while you're still living, test your soul, and see what is bad for it, and do not give in to that. For not everything is profitable for everyone, and not every soul enjoys everything. Do not be gluttonous for every dainty food, and do not give yourself over to food, for overeating will bring sickness, and gluttony will lead to nausea. Many have died because of gluttony, but the careful man will prolong his life. Honoring the physician. Honor the physician with the honor due him, and also according to your need of him, for the Lord created him. Healing comes from the Most High, and he will receive a gift from the King. The physician's skill will lift up his head, and he shall be admired in the presence of the great. The Lord created medicines from the earth, and a sensible man will not loathe them. Is not water made sweet by wood, that its strength might be known? And he gave skill to men, that he might be glorified in his wonders. By them he heals and takes away pain. A druggist making a compound of them, God's works are never finished, and from him health is upon the face of the earth. My son, do not be negligent when you are sick, but pray to the Lord, and he will heal you. Depart from transgression, and direct your hands aright, and cleanse your heart from every sin. Offer a sweet-smelling sacrifice and memorial of the finest sweet flour, and pour oil on your offerings as if you are soon to die, and keep in touch with your physician, for the Lord created him. And do not let him leave you, for you need him. There is a time when success is also in their hands, for they will pray to the Lord, and give them success in bringing relief and healing, for the sake of preserving your life. He who sins before the one who made him, may he fall into the hands of a physician. Mourning the departed. My son, let your tears fall for the dead, as one suffering grievously begin to lament. With the honor due him, wrap his body, and take care of his burial. Weep bitterly and lament fervently. Do your mourning according to what he deserves, for a day or two to avoid slander. Then be comforted for your grief, for grief is the cause of death. And a grief-stricken heart will sap your strength. Grief also abides in misery, and the life of a poor man weighs down his heart. Do not give your heart to grief. Drive it away, remembering the end of life. Do not forget, for there is no coming back. And you cannot help the dead man by grieving, but will only injure yourself. Remember my end, since yours is also like it. Mine yesterday, yours today. When the dead man is at rest, let his remembrance cease, and be comforted for him in the exodus of his spirit. And then we go to chapter 39, Students of God's Word. How different is the man who devotes himself to the study of the law of the Most High. He will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients and be occupied with their prophecies. He will preserve the discourse of notable men and penetrate the subtleties of parables. He will seek out the hidden meanings of proverbs and be engaged in the riddles of parables. He will serve in the midst of great men and will appear before rulers. He will travel through the land of foreign nations and test the good and evil among men. He will give his heart to rising early before the Lord who created him, and will make supplication to the Most High, and he will open his mouth in prayer and make supplication for his sins. If the great Lord wills, he will be filled with the spirit of understanding. He will pour forth words of his wisdom, and in prayer he will give thanks to the Lord. He will direct his counsel and knowledge aright, and he will reflect on his hidden things. He will reveal instruction in his teaching, and boast in the law of the Lord's covenant. Many will praise his understanding, and it will never be blotted out. His memory will not disappear, and his name will live through all generations. Nations will proclaim his wisdom, and the assembly will proclaim his praise. I'm just turning the page, sorry. If he lives long, he will leave a name greater than 1,000, and if he goes to his rest, his work is completed. Praise for God's works. I have yet more to tell you, and I will describe it in detail. For I am filled like a full moon, so hear me, O holy sons, and bud forth like a rose springing up in the running stream, like frankincense amid a sweet fragrance, and blossom forth like a lily sent forth a fragrance, and sing a hymn of praise. Bless the Lord in all his works. Ascribe majesty to his name, and give thanks to him in praise with song on your lips and with lyres. And thus you shall say in thanksgiving, all things are the works of the Lord, for they are exceedingly good, and every command shall be in his appointed time. No one can say, what is this, why is that? For every question will be answered in his appointed time. By his word the waters stood as a heap, and the reservoirs of the waters by the word of his mouth. By his command, and all his good pleasure is done, and no one will diminish his salvation. The works of all flesh are before him, and nothing can be hidden from his eyes. From age to age he looks upon them, and nothing is marvelous to him. No one can say, what is this, why is that? For all these things were created for their use. His blessing covers the dry land like a river, and drenches it like a flood. As he turns fresh water into salt, so the heathen will inherit his wrath. As his ways are straight to the holy, so they are an occasion of stumbling to the lawless. As from the beginning good things were created for the good, so evil things for the sinners. The basic needs of a man's life are water, fire, iron, salt, and wheat flour, and milk, honey, the blood of the grape, olive oil, and clothing. As all these things are good for the godly, so they turn into evil for sinners. There are spirits created for vengeance, and in his anger they strengthen their scourges, and in the time of consummation they will pour out their might, and appease the wrath of him who made them. Fire, hail, famine, and death, all these things are created for vengeance. The teeth of wild animals, scorpions, and snakes, and the avenging sword that drives the ungodly to destruction. They shall be glad at his commandment, and be prepared for his service on earth. And when their time comes, they will not transgress his word. Therefore, from the beginning, I was determined and resolved, and left this in writing. All the works of the Lord are good, and he will supply every need in its hour. No one can say, this is worse than that, for all things will be well-pleasing in their time. So now sing praise with all your heart and voice, and bless the name of the Lord. And I'll stop there. This is from Wisdom of Sirach, and I'll leave the link for you. And then I went to True Life in God, August 9, 1992. My child, my call has awakened many dead hearts. I shall speak for the sake of all those who are standing around you. Remain in me more than ever, and do not fear. So much I have written to you about my love. Whoever keeps faithful to me will not be uprooted by the tempests, but he who would leave the world to overcome him will lose my heart. The Spirit has anointed these messages. The Spirit is truth, therefore no one will be able to obstruct the truth. I have leveled a path for you, so pray that you may proclaim my message as clearly as you ought to. Take my hand and walk with me, dearest soul. I is your holy companion. All I have to say for now is courage, be blessed, and be united. Pray in your tribulations. All the saints are with you. We, us, come. And this is a message from True Life in God. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.